Hi everybody, welcome back to Sally's Sweet Life. I'm your host Sally. I'm going to be your teacher mentor today as we roll through yet another review of the latest release for Body Balance, or perhaps it's Body Flow in your region, and this one is number 90. So kind of strange, huh? Because the last release was Body Balance or Body Flow United, and the one before that was 89. So I kind of feel like United was a bit of a celebration release. So we're back on to 90, and we're going to go through really quickly and briefly what you can expect in this particular release. Now, first things first, I do have to tell you that around about 2 months ago, I had spinal surgery, and it's okay. I'm doing really good and I'm recovering well, but I just can't teach yet. And normally what I do before I release or before I film these types of reviews, or consequently the walkthrough, I teach these beautiful releases lots and really get a feel for them, but that hasn't happened for me at the moment. So you're just going to have to take it with a little pinch of salt because, and I do apologize that I may not be as insightful as I normally would. It's hard to get a really good feel for a release without teaching it or experiencing it, but I've got a few little things for you. Let's get into it. So 13 amazing pieces of music they've offered us in this particular release. It incorporates 2 sun salutation tracks, 2A and 2B, and at the end of the release, 2 track 9s, which is all about forward bends and stretching into your hamstrings. They've also given us yet again another Tai Chi warm-up as a bonus track, which means, yes, this release starts with a yoga warm-up, and this will be the 3rd one in a row. Now, they've done 10 of these all up, and that started back in release number 79, the yoga warm-ups, I mean. So 3 in a row, 10 all in succession. Who knows? It sounds to me like they're not ever going to be giving it away, so I wouldn't panic too much there. It's always going to be a bonus track. So if you're a participant and you love your Tai Chi, you really have to voice that with your teacher so that they can bring it right into the forefront. And perhaps there are other people in your class that love it too. I know I absolutely do. So we start with the yoga warm-up, and this is a beautiful introduction to movement. It's a great piece of music, but let's talk about the music real quick. So the music in this release I found to be really easy to listen to, really pleasant on the ear. Nothing really stood out. It all had a beautiful kind of a genre to it, really easy to teach to, beautiful to move to. Flowing poses, we start on our feet, we kind of roll down and we come back to our feet. There's a tension in this particular track into specific spinal movement and warming into hips, because toward the end of this track we're seeing yet again Hindi squat, but yay, maybe they listened to my video on the last release, but they've actually given us fabulous warming poses like a scorpion variation, and we've got 2 of those that really warm into lower back and warm into hips, and they're perfect for preparing us for Hindi squat, so that's great. Track number 2 is a traditional sun salutation, and like I mentioned earlier, there are 2 tracks here, so I'll just talk about 2A. Quite a traditional sun salutation sequence, quite short, only 4 rounds for this particular release and this track. Great music. Nothing much to say here. Other than, actually, for me, I think that probably would have been enough just to have this 1 track, but actually they've given us another track, 2B, another sun salutation, way longer. The first 2A is only 3 minutes, 2B is like 6 minutes, but it's not as traditional as what we would expect in our sun salutations. This one dives into warrior poses. That's not new for Body Balance, but it's not really something that we normally do. Now, this particular track, as a standalone track, I quite like it, but I think it's in totally the wrong spot in the class. For me, I would have liked to have seen this particular track as a 3B, and I'll tell you why. This track has flow like we see in sun salutation, but it also incorporates warrior poses, all centered around a warrior 2 sequence. That's great, but we don't have time to teach really intensely and thoroughly those warrior two poses when we're only in them for 3 seconds. So it is hugely hard to teach, and it's very confusing for newer participants in your class. So you'll get lost in this one. Just be prepared for that. Yeah, we do repeat it over. There are 6 rounds in this particular track, but if you're a new participant and you're being hit with a warrior 2 and then an extended warrior and a sun warrior, and it's for 3 seconds in each, that is really tough. I'm going to go into massive detail on how to teach this one well in my walkthrough, if I decide to do a walkthrough, and I'm still debating on that. And you know what, if you really like my walkthrough videos, maybe comment below. That's going to help me to decide whether or not I do them. So picture this, if you go into the next track, which is a track 3, which is specifically designed for long holding warrior poses, and this one does not fail. It's a fantastic track. It delivers a warrior 2 sequence like in 2B, but if that 2B jumped over to 3B and we had the long holding poses in 3 and then the flow, perfect, because we've already been taught those warrior poses in track 3. Do you get where I'm going? Yeah, it's a little tricky, this one. Anyway, we work with what we have and again, check out for the walkthrough and hopefully I'll be able to teach you a few tips on how to get through that 2B well. Can I talk a little bit more about our track 3, which is a standing strength track? It finishes with some gorgeous deep squats, which I really, really love. And in this one, we've also got a bit of a balance, and that's, again, nothing new, but we've got a floating half moon, which is nice. In track 4, we're looking at balances, and out of all of the tracks in this release, I kind of feel like this one is probably choreographed the best. It has a beautiful balance of music to movement. They really captured the essence of the music, and you'll know this track because it's a bit of a golden oldie, but it's a beautiful track. They've captured the essence of the music, and they have perfectly reflected that in the movement, and they just dance together so well in this one. I really love it. Track number 5 is hip openers, and oh my god, I love this track. I love the music. I love these long holding hip opening poses. They're just divine. There are several swan pose variations in this track, and in past releases we've definitely done that. But in this one, it kind of feels different. It feels almost like, well, here it is, here's swan, and these are 4 different variations to it. You just choose what you want. So it really is about feeling and assessing and choosing. And when the participant has that type of opportunity, it's a really, really beautiful way to mature as a participant. Here's what I mean by that. Normally the class is, we're going to do this at this time, and the teacher really delivers everything that they need to do. In this part of this track, it's like putting all of the choice onto the participant. So they have to feel, they have to choose, they have to self-assess in their own body. And that is a huge part of yoga, is being nurturing to the body and just accepting where your body is today, and whatever that is. So I love this part of the class. It's really good. So if I do end up doing the walkthrough, which is going through each of these poses really intimately, for teachers, I'll tell you how to really capture all of the main parts of the poses to offer to your class and still create that calm, which is what this track is all about. It's about relaxing and falling into this pose, which, I mean, I love it. I love track 5s. Track 6 is a little bit different, more punchier, more yang energy. We're into strengthening core abdominals. I love the music. It's a fun gypsy kind of feel. There are kind of 2 big blocks of work to this track with a really cool oblique yoga challenge, and there's a bit of a balancing challenge toward the end. Track 7 has 3 big blocks of work, or 3 ports of call. In track 7, it's core back. So core back is about strengthening your back muscles and also a little bit of mobility. And this one delivers perfectly. The first port of call is a 3-dog sequence, so we're getting right into upper back. The second is a diagonal pointer, so we're stretching across the slings and working through hips here as well. And the final block is a prone position, so we're lying on your front, that's right, and working in extensions. So I really like this track. Not that I can do much of it at the moment, but it looks good. Track number 8 is twists. So we're working still again into your back, but in a rotational range. This is quite a short track, only 3 minutes. And in fact, we are all on your feet for this track. Big pose. It peaks at the twisting triangle. Again, if I do the walkthrough, I'm going to be going into this big pose lots and lots. So keep an eye out for that one. We finish with some beautiful spinal lengths still on our feet in like a baby bend, which is just gorgeous. I love it. Track 9A. I love the music. I got to tell you why as well in a minute. But this is the part of the class where if you're going to get goosebumps, it's going to be in this particular track. It's not a long track, but it is like goosebumpy. It's very powerful music. And in fact, I think it would have been about 6 years ago, I was rehearsing with Kylie. We were about to put on a performance, a presentation, a quarterly presentation. And I'm like, Kylie, you got to listen to this piece of music. It is amazing. It's perfect for a track 9. It's so good. There's this moment of silence. And anyway, I told her about it and I said, tell Jackie. And Kylie probably just went, yeah, whatever, Sal. But so I'm taking full credit for this, this piece of music. It's just fantastic. What irks me though is that I don't feel like it's choreographed well for the amount of power in this particular track. So it's a bit of a shame. I kind of had a different idea about how this one could be choreographed. But nevertheless, in this particular track for this release, it delivers twists again in the form of a standing balancing twist, which is a little bit different, and still giving us the length that we're wanting in the back of our body, which is what this is all about, forward folds. Standing, all standing, so the twist track was all standing, and also 9A is all standing. Track 9B are all laying down poses on the ground, and again we see an appearance of twists. So we've got twists in 9B, 9A, in 8 in the twist track as well. So there's a lot of spinal rotation there, which is fantastic. I love this piece of music. It's one of my favorite pieces to the release. I actually find myself kind of humming and singing it throughout the day. I hope you like it too. Track 10 is always the relaxation and meditation track. Again, beautiful piece of music. Oh, they've done the piano thing. Oh my God, is it like 1,000 times? So again, they've gone for a piano-based piece of music. I just so hope next year that they're going to bring in something a little bit more electronic, a little bit more zen-y, not the tinkering of a piano. But that's just me. The bonus Tai Chi warm-up track at the end, if you're lucky enough to experience this one, has great music. It has 2 flowing sequences that end up combining together. Beautiful flow, great music, great volumes of movement, so it's very warming for what we want in our Tai Chi. And the focus in this one is all about, and actually it's meant to be in the beginning yoga track as well, the focus is about clearing space, being in your body. Where are you right now? And can you allow space? Can you feel space? That sort of thing. It's just gorgeous. So that's it. That's all 13 pieces of music I've briefly gone through. Again, if you're wanting a more thorough, what are the poses and how do we do the poses, look out for my walkthrough if I end up doing it. Well, I wish you all the very best over the Christmas season, and I look forward to seeing you in 2021 for some more videos. Take care. See you soon.